Uncle Wayne, with Sorry Day on the 26th of May and then Reconciliation Week to follow, this is a great opportunity to reflect. So what does that mean to you?
Reconciliation is a time for us to show an understanding and an empathy. And it's also a chance for all our mob to really think about healing and to share that with the Australian population. We've gone from a time where we've had the Bringing Them Home report, which was a long time ago now, in the late 90s. From the report, there was a recommendation for Sorry Day, there was a recommendation for an apology, there was a recommendation for all sorts of things. Some of those recommendations have been accepted and some haven't. So this is a time to heal, this is the time for everybody to understand. In 2000, we had that opportunity for people to walk, more than 250,000 people to walk across the Sydney Harbour Bridge to show a force for reconciliation. So I think it's a time for everybody to stand up for future generations. We recognise through our NAIDOC Futures for the Elders. I think it's important that we look at the greater picture, not just one day, but the entire time, to recognise the fact that we need to understand, gain empathy, show empathy, and to really understand the nature of what people have been through in the past, but to live into the future.
And of course, Sorry Day itself predated the National Apology because it came after the Bringing Them Home report, didn't it?
The Bringing Them Home report was full of recommendations, few of which are still not to be completed. But we have had a situation with Sorry Day, National Sorry Day, a National Sorry Day of healing, many understandings. But it's been rooted in the past as a day of mourning, and we've moved on from that situation for really the entire Australian public to understand the nature of Sorry Day in terms of an apology by Kevin Rudd to our people on behalf of the government and the public of Australia.
And that national apology, which was in 2008, was a really big moment. I remember where I was. I was sitting at the uni in one of the lunchrooms, and it was just one of those extraordinary moments that you remember exactly where you were when it happened, and watching the people joyful, sobbing. It was every emotion on that day, and I think that has been a big step in the reconciliation journey.
It was a big part in my journey too. It was the first time I'd ever taken a day off work in school. It was the first time I'd had a chance to see Uncle Darby and his wife on television, and a chance to see Kevin Rudd, who I knew as a student from my earlier days at Nambour High. It was one of those times where I could actually connect with the TV, have a laugh, have a drink, have a smile, and to understand the nature of what this meant for future generations. I knew those people, and even my experience today has shown that those stolen generations live on. So that resilience of people through the Sorry Day is something to be understood and to be admired.
Let's hope this coming week for Reconciliation Week that we really use the opportunity to stop and reflect and think about what this means for our First Nations people.
It's a time to get beyond politics. It's a time to get back to people, understanding what people have been through in the past. Don't live in the past, but live in a really brighter future for our kids, our grandkids, all those opportunities we've got for the future generations. And to thank also, like the NAIDOC thing, for the elders who've given and who've really made this possible for many of us to be on this earth.